EdBigghead here, azsnakebit.com, and I'm on the Brood Squad. Today we are joined by Bill. He's from the Oakland, the Bay Area. He's been in Arizona since 2006. He is a diehard San Francisco Giants fan. We're going to ask him the questions that we like to ask all of our guests. So let's go to Bill. So back with Bill, pronounce your last name.
Schoonover.
Schoonover. And so Mike actually tells me that you played minor league baseball.
Yes.
What league?
It was, I guess it would be considered, back in the day, it was a California league.
Okay.
It was, I played for the South Lake Tahoe Reds.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
How many seasons did you do with them?
One.
Just one? How was it?
I was there as a walk-on.
Okay.
My buddy was on the team, and I came out and pitched batting practice. And the coach said I had a live arm, and would you like a tryout and all that stuff. And so they invited me back to play another year, and I said, I'm too old for this. I'm going to go back to school and finish up. So
Okay. Well, how old were you at the time?
19, 20, right in that range.
Oh, okay. So you thought you were too old for the minor leagues?
Let's see, what year was that? No, actually, I was 21.
Okay.
21.
That seems like prime.
I just wasn't. Baseball wasn't my first love.
Okay.
Yeah, I played hockey up until that point.
Okay.
And then when hockey didn't work out, it sort of fell in my lap, you might say. So, but I enjoyed playing ball. I've been playing ever since. I still play.
Excellent. So, when did you finally realize, as a Giants fan, that the Giants don't actually win the World Series every even year, as most of you fans profess?
Yeah, like 2016 is it came down very hard.
I've actually been waiting for a San Francisco Giants fan to say that, to answer in such a way, because even in 2018 it was still, oh, it's the even year, we're going to win it. And, you know, as a Diamondbacks fan, that gets quite annoying.
It wasn't quite as evident then. I mean, honestly, we should have that year at least got to the World Series.
Yeah.
Because the Cubs got, from my perspective, everything fell into place for the Cubs. So, okay, so that was their destiny. Get the goat off their back.
So you've been here since 2006. What do you think of the Diamondbacks?
God, the only word I can say is generic.
Yeah.
It's been hard for me to sink my teeth in the Diamondbacks, but I do watch them. Paul Goldschmidt's a great guy and made it easy to like the team because he was a likable guy as their sort of the face of the team. And then when it was time to pay him, they let him go.
Right.
That's that. Right.
So other than our lack of spending, what else would you consider generic about the team? Is it the ballpark or the fan
you're probably
experience?
Right. Because I've been to several games, I've seen the Giants play several times. It's kind of a strange phenomenon. It's almost like the fans don't know what to do, and the ballpark is like an aircraft hangar.
Okay.
And it just there's no character. It's not Fenway Park,
Right.
and it's not Yankee Stadium. It's not even honestly, it's, AT&T Park over there in San Francisco's got a ton more charm than that stadium. So
Let's go back to real quick. I thought it was interesting. You said the fans don't really know what to do. Is that we're not loud enough? We're scared to cheer, or what do you mean?
It feels from somebody that grew up in a baseball town that was just dying to get the Giants from New York. We were hardcore baseball fans. We loved it for the sport. We love the nuances of the game and everything. It seems like the game's secondary when I go to a D-backs game for a good portion of the fans.
Right.
And I don't know. It's not something I'm used to be honest with you. It's almost like they don't know when to get on people's cases, and they really don't know when to yell and scream and be, the advantage.
Right.
Home field advantage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, when the crowd's on your side, you have an
I give you a story. I went to an A's game, and back in when I was in high school, we had a bunch of guys that would go to the A's games. We probably went to 50 A's games a year because I still lived in the East Bay, and we would ride the outfielders like crazy. I mean, I almost brought Fred Lynn to tears one night, just telling him how much we thought he sucked. He obviously didn't suck. He was a great player, but we were trying to get inside his head, and you don't get any of that here.
Did it work?
Absolutely. He turned around and he goes, what do you got? We used to even do like commercials. We'd mock some of the commercials on TV, and instead of their name that was on that commercial, we ran Fred Lynn's name. Or there was a cat from the Chicago White Sox. His last name was Pryor, and we'd do some like Richard Pryor stand up on him and
Nice.
just get in his head. That was our job.
You sound like you're on the Brute Squad. So, how big is Bruce Bochy's head in real life?
God, I don't think they make a hat off the shelf for him, that's for sure.
Okay, so the secondary question, whose head is larger, his or Clint Hurdle's? Of the Pittsburgh Pirates, the manager of the Pirates.
Oh, yeah, I know. Clint Hurdle used to play for them. Oh, what else? I think Bochy's has got him.
Yeah, and I've actually read a story where they had to like custom make a hat, like a special factory in Vietnam was built.
I'm sure.
His hats, you know.
And the statue of him out front, I'm sure.
So, do you like or hate, or do you love or hate Panda?
Panda?
Pablo Sandoval, third base.
Oh, I see that. You know what? He did so much for us. I'm not the type of fan that holds a grudge at all on the fact that he has a hard time staying away from fast food. That's his deal.
Right.
But, you know, I don't hate him.
Okay.
Period. I love what he did for us. I wish he was
Still
better.
a fan then?
Yeah, I wish he was better the second time he came around, but
I think you guys are only paying him the league minimum.
Well,
and Boston's
because
paying.
because Boston let him go because again, I think he just couldn't keep it together.
Right. So this season, the San Francisco Giants are in last place right now. It's still very early in the season, but do you expect them to start selling here soon? Some of these players, Madison Baumgartner, maybe some of your.
That's the talk of the town right now. I mean, when you listen to sports talk now, again, all I get is Arizona sports talk, but they're talking about the Giants, having a fire sale at one point if it gets too ugly.
What would you expect in return for Madison Baumgartner? Say he was traded to the Diamondbacks. Not that we would, but
they, because I have a buddy of mine that we have this conversation like once a month for the last 5 years. The Giants have done nothing to prepare for the future. They've auctioned off a lot of their future to get to where they are right now, trying to take care of today. But you look at a dude like Hunter Pence, they let him go, and now he's hitting what, 330 for Texas. Okay, and he said, and then even Bochy said that was one of the hardest things he ever had to do, is get rid of Hunter Pence. But I think it's basically going to be a rebuild thing. I mean, you look at a team like the San Diego Padres, who spent a little money in the offseason, right? And they're viable right now.
Well, and they've been collecting prospects the past 3 or 4
and they've
seasons.
got a pretty good farm system to start with.
I think they have one of the best.
And I think it's ironic that they're more like a budget team generally, like the Oakland A's.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your $80,000, do whatever or $1 million, do whatever you want with it. But Giants have much deeper pockets than that. I just don't think that their focus has been on maintaining. I think the every other year thing was just fine for them since 2010,
and now
we're in 2019, and there's not a whole lot going on.
So, are you familiar with Madison Baumgartner and Yasiel Puig kind of going back and forth since yesterday? Puig hit a home run off of Baumgartner, and Baumgartner is quoted as saying he's a quick study. It only took him 7 years to learn how to hit that pitch. And previously, it was 3 or 4 seasons ago, there was some altercation as Puig was rounding first, and Madison Baumgartner told him not to look at him. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Madison Baumgartner's yelling at Puig.
I don't know about that.
They keep going back and forth. So my question to you is, should they just fucking get it over with?
It'll never happen. But, from that perspective, is it a lover's quarrel? I don't think so.
Right. Nice. So, okay, you have this new general manager, Farhan Zaidi. He's from the Dodgers. Are you familiar with him? Do you like anything that he's done, considering you kind of just said they were not prepared to do anything?
Too small of a slice, at this point. But, again, when you were talking about possibly having a bit of a fire sale, the Giants have needed to do that for a couple of years. Now, the sad part is I still have my favorites. You're talking about trying to get rid of Buster Posey, and that's been in the talk. And I said, ugh. That's one of my favorite players.
So,
if not my favorite.
Who should replace Bruce Bochy after this season? Anybody out there that you can think of?
I mean, that's a completely different philosophy. I think Bochy handled the team well, but baseball philosophy, he got dealt a really good deck.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, I would like to see somebody more like a Billy Martin get in there.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to you.
What did you like about Billy Martin?
I like small ball.
Okay.
I hate what's going on right now in baseball.
With the
huge shifts.
Yeah, you don't like the shift.
Well, they're playing their analytics. They're playing a big game, part of the game now. But at what point do you want to win a game?
Right.
One of the grossest things I ever saw. Paul Goldschmidt's on third base with one out. He is the winning run of the game. I'm at the game. The shortstop is playing just to the left of second base from the batter's perspective. We have a left-handed pull hitter at the plate. All he has to do is just put the ball in play or bunt it to the left side of the infield, and the game is over. And what he did, he swung from the hemorrhoids 3 times, and then the next guy flies out, it's over. They didn't win the game. They ended up not winning the game.
Right.
In that situation, Billy Martin would have never let that happen. In fact, most of your old school type managers would have never let that happen.
Right.
You're going to give us the game? Okay, we'll take it. Dink.
It's almost unorthodox now to play that way. To play small ball.
It's almost creating an unwritten rule that it's not okay to take a full swing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take a full swing, it shouldn't count.
Right.
It's unsportsmanlike. Bull. Get over it.
Kind of like when somebody's throwing a no-hitter and they're saying, in the 8th and 9th inning, don't go as hard as you would in the early games, early part of the game on the offensive side. That's almost becoming an unwritten rule.
I hope so. That's not it. But the one rule when a guy's got a no-no going is you don't talk to him. Don't even look at him.
Right.
Especially, if he's in the dugout, just stay away from him. Give him his space. Been there, done that.
So, do you have any terrible Dodger fan stories? As a Giants fan, that's a huge rivalry.
As a Giant. Okay, this is a true story because I was there.
All right, let's hear it. We'll finish up with this story.
Well, there's 2 parts to the story.
Right, let's
if you don't mind. So we're at a Giants game, Giants Dodgers, and
in San Francisco.
In San Francisco at Candlestick Park.
Okay.
And it's another one of those normal Candlestick Park games that you start in shorts and end up with baby diapers all over your legs because it's like 5 degrees out there. But some dude is wearing a cape, and he was apparently some sort of a Giants fan. He wasn't at every game, but that game he shows up, and he's drunk out of his mind. He catches a foul ball, and we're like right there and go, throw it at the batter, throw it at the batter. The dude did it. Threw the baseball at the batter, and it just missed him. I mean, that was one of those, there's nothing that's out of play when it comes to beating on a Dodger fan. And so that segues it into the 1988 World Series when the A's played the Dodgers. And there was a Dodger fan in my section, and he was basically handing out dollar bills. I'll bet you $1 that he gets a strike here, or I bet you $1 he strikes out. And it was a Dodgers that we were doing. I bet he gets a strike, but the Dodgers were doing pretty well at that point. And he was just heckling all the A's fans, and the A's fans were doing nothing. And I walked up to him and I said, dude, if you were in Candlesticks Park, you'd be crucified right now.
Right.
And he just kept doing it, and by about the 4th inning, it was pretty cold, so he had a blanket around him. I took the blanket and put it over his head and just started beating the crap out of him.
Nice. Nice. We should actually get you a plaque for that. Like a trophy and have a ceremony.
And then my buddies that I was with, I said, are you going to get in on this or what? And they came in, they got their licks in. And when the guy was drunk and just acting ridiculous, and we just had enough.
You policed yourselves, right?
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we didn't get in trouble. We knew all the security guards at that point.
Right.
When I was a kid, I used to actually work at the at the Oakland Coliseum.
Really?
Yeah. So it was actually during the World Series.
Nice.
So that was back in 1971.
Nice.
Cool.
Very nice. All right. Well,
Fun
Bill
Schoonover.
Bill Schoonover, lifelong San Francisco Giants fan from Oakland. Thanks for the great stories. That was excellent. We really appreciate your time and you being with us. So, azsnakepit.com. This will probably be on the latest Snake Bites on Thursday morning. I'm EdBigghead, and I'm on the Brute Squad. Thank you.